Hi, I'm Jake Grez, also known as Nurse Jake. As a travel nurse, I've worked in all kinds of places, different settings, cities, and climates. Every assignment brings on a new challenge, which is why I always bring my figs. These scrubs are built for whatever the job throws at you. They're breathable, flexible, and comfortable in any environment. No matter where I land, I know they're going to keep me looking and feeling my best. And don't sleep on the details. The pockets, the features, the finishing touches, everything has a purpose and it makes a real difference when you're moving nonstop. The fit is clean, tailored, and super polished, and they come in a huge range of colors. In other words, they feel great throughout a 12-hour shift and they always look good. See every healthcare professional on Instagram. If you work in healthcare or know someone who does, check out Figs and get 15% off your first order at wearfigs.com with code FIGSRX. That's wearfigs.com, code FIGSRX.
Welcome to the Secret Keepers podcast with your host, Kareen Zutleger. Join us as we uncover the hidden thoughts, stories, and moments that help bring light to the healing power of truth and examine how silence can affect us mentally, physically, and spiritually. We'll also share profound stories, interviews, and transformative narratives to help release ourselves from the hidden and step into healing towards inner peace, joy, and fulfillment. Now, here's your healing strategist and host, Kareen.
Welcome to the Secret Keepers podcast. And today, my guest is Maddy Molle. Well, she's formerly Maddy Molle. And I'm going to tell you all about her new adventure because we are actually welcoming her back.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Me too. So, Maddy, tell us what's been going on. Tell us about you since the last time we met.
Yeah, so I turned 25 in May. I recently got married on May 23rd. So, yay. I am pursuing my master's in clinical mental health counseling through an online program at UW Superior. So right now, my life is kind of like building. It's building a life that looks like mine. It's something I'm excited about, it's very transitional and it's really exciting.
I would say so too. So for our audience that has not met you
Yeah.
at all, I invite them to go back and listen to the first interview that we did with
Yep.
Maddy. She is now Maddy Anderson, which
Yep.
I'm really excited about for
Yeah.
her. Congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
marriage. I was so excited for you.
Thank
And
you.
so tell me a little bit then about the season that you're in.
Yeah, I think I'm in a season of becoming. I like that idea. Marriage, school, a lot of like healing and growth for me, especially in my body image and confidence. I'm 25, I'm in school, I'm still figuring things out, but I'm also doing it with a lot more compassion for myself, and I'm really learning how to like take up space without apologizing for it.
Well, I love that. I especially love the fact that, right, taking up space without apologizing for it. So, let's dive a little deeper into that
Absolutely.
a bit. Um, when you say that, there's like an undertone to it. So, what do you really mean by that?
I spent a lot of my life trying to not be seen and trying to not take up space. And with the changes that have been going on in my life recently, I've realized that I do deserve to take up space, and in every sense of the word, with my personality, with my intelligence, with my body, I am allowed to be seen and I am allowed to take up space.
Exactly. From a female perspective,
Yeah.
we're groomed
Yeah.
from the womb, literally, with this belief system to be good,
Yep.
right? We got to keep things under control. Don't
Fit
be,
in the box of what a woman is.
yes, right? Don't be you want to be sexy, but not too sexy. You want to have a voice, but not too much voice. You want to be smart, but not too smart. You don't want to
Yep.
outshine anybody because,
Yep.
heaven forbid you want, you outshine
Right.
somebody.
Right.
Um, and then that causes a lot of inner turmoil because you're like, well, wait a minute. I just want to be me.
And like, who am I if I'm not allowed to step outside of this box?
Yeah, and there can be a lot of, for some people, it can be religious constructs that do it.
Hmm.
I would say in my case, I didn't grow up with religion in my house per se. My
Hmm.
mom was Irish Catholic. My dad was baptized Catholic, but dad told mom, you know, he wasn't going to send us to any of that.
Right.
We got old enough, we could make up our own mind. Uh,
Yeah.
so it was what was going on around me, and of course the things my mom had learned, and all she was doing
Mhm.
was passing on, right, what she learned,
Right.
and
Yeah.
to keep in line and to be a woman that looked like this, and
Yep.
women behave this way, and so I totally get what you're talking about,
Yeah.
and allowing your true personality to shine. And
Yeah.
I'm going to say, as somebody who, spent a few years with you
Yeah.
in high school,
Yep.
to be able to see the woman that you are today, oh, like it makes my heart so happy.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
There's me. She was in there. I'm like,
She
she's in
was in
there.
there.
She's in there.
Yes,
So this is so exciting.
it is.
So, you know, you kind of touched just a little bit, but let's go a little deeper.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Before the transformation, before this version that we see sitting before us,
Yeah.
just, what was a struggle or a belief about yourself that most people couldn't see, right? What was
Yeah.
that hidden thing, the secret?
Yeah. So this transformation is a lot of things. It is post weight loss, a significant amount of weight loss. It is post working on my mental health, figuring out who I am as a person in the world. So it's a transformation in the all encompassing of the word body, mind, soul, everything. Um, so I think what people thought of me before was I hid myself a lot. I hid behind bigger clothes. I hid in the crowded rooms. I didn't want to be perceived in any way. I wanted to blend into the background and absolutely disappear. So, like, I avoided taking photos. I avoided any events that made me uncomfortable. And the biggest thing was I put out such a loving and kind energy out to other people because I do believe in that message of spreading love and kindness and loving yourself. But that was absolutely not how I was treating myself. So I don't think people would have perceived me as that. Like, well, she talks about kindness all the time and she talks about being nice and loving yourself. But like inside, that was not me. I was not practicing that.
Yeah, so I hear your inner critic voice was probably pretty loud.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, what was the moment? Like, what happened that really made you realize something had to change?
Yeah, I honestly, people have asked me like this before, like, well, what made you decide? I can't like pinpoint like one dramatic moment where it was like, aha, light bulb off. I think it was more of a quiet buildup of being exhausted, um, tired of hating myself in pictures, tired of dressing to hide my body instead of dressing for joy or fun, or like, I thought this was adorable, so I'm gonna wear it. Tired of sitting things out because I didn't feel comfortable being seen. Um, I was tired of feeling like I had to wait for my life to start after I lost weight or felt smaller. I was waiting for the other side of things. And I realized I didn't want to just lose weight. I wanted to stop living at war with myself.
Oh, it's so powerful that you wanted to stop
Yeah.
living at war with yourself.
Yes.
I think it's a piece that people don't recognize,
Yeah.
right? When they're looking at a weight loss journey, it's so much more. The weight is a symptom
Mm-hmm.
of, right, of just unexpressed, probably emotions.
Yeah.
Um, and we keep it in again, like with women, we tend to turn things inward
Mm-hmm.
and we just kind of stuff them down because we're taught, right? Good women aren't angry, right? Good women don't get upset or show emotion, and and with that
Yeah.
mentality, you stuff it down. And eating is a relatively socially accepted
Oh, yes.
way to deal with emotions, especially as a
Yes.
female, until you hit a certain point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you begin to look obese, then the names might come out and the judgment comes out. But for a certain period of time, we can eat and gain weight and we can hide it, right?
Right.
And that's acceptable.
Yep.
How often, like women berate themselves because of those other people comments, right? The judgment of
Yeah.
others, uh,
Yeah.
as if we're to be cookie cutter paper dolls or
Yep.
something. And I
Yeah.
think, how boring would it be? I want to share this with
Yeah.
you because we were at the Getty in Los Angeles, California. It's a big
Okay.
museum there, and lots and lots of beautiful art from
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of years of art.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around with my husband, and it just hits me that these beautiful paintings that were being painted of women, especially like the nude portraits,
Mm-hmm.
the women are on their sides and their bellies are
And you
plump.
have stomach rolls. Can you believe
Yes.
it?
Right. And they're curvy and
Uh-huh.
voluptuous, and there are no stick women in these pictures. And so it was kind of that kind of a moment that hit
Yeah.
me about like embracing that feminine component to my body,
Yeah.
because I too would, like, when my husband met me, I had on a huge baggy sweatshirt, literally tucked into my jeans because I was so
Yep.
skinny.
Yep.
I had these big baggy jeans on and this big sweatshirt. And he just laughed because he's like, I knew you had a lot going on under there, but I was trying to hide it, right? I
Yep.
was like, oh, I don't want anybody
Yeah.
to see this.
Yep.
And I just think, isn't that a shame?
It is. And it's like part of why I am choosing to share and hopefully connect with other women that like, especially with social media nowadays, that's been like a huge part of this for me is like the idea of what a woman should look like or what an attractive woman should look like is just relentlessly shoved down our throats, especially as young women. And like, we can take up space in whatever body we choose, and there's enough space for all of us. We can celebrate each other and we can all be in different bodies, and it's beautiful, and that's how we are.
It is. It's so beautiful. And it's like, it was like in like the 1960s-ish when the shift came, right? And
Hmm.
really who controls that is the media. It is.
Right.
So at that time it was the magazines and the
Yeah.
television, and they decide what the perfect woman looks like. And I'm like, well, that is just such garbage that we
Correct.
as a species even condone this. And
Hmm.
I have seen the trend, right? The trend of the movement of really taking back that right to be authentically ourselves. I think it's
Yeah.
so important. So tell me this,
Yeah.
did losing the weight create the confidence, or did confidence help you lose weight?
I think it was both, honestly. Maybe not in the way people would assume, but like losing weight changed how I felt physically and how I moved through the world. But like confidence didn't magically appear because the scale changed. Confidence, my confidence started, I think, kind of even before I like fully believed in myself. It started with me choosing to show up for myself in this way. Um, and then slowly starting to like choose clothes that fit my body instead of punishing myself for clothes that like didn't fit, or even just like the confidence of choosing to care for my body even before I was maybe happy with the number on the scale. So the weight loss was part of my journey, but the confidence came from keeping those promises to myself of like I'm going to take care of you and I'm going to love you.
Yeah, oh, I love that. The promise, keeping the promise to yourself.
Yeah.
So in the self-love journey,
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest thing
Yeah.
because at the base level, I'm going to talk chakras here for a second, but
Yeah.
at the base level, at the root chakra, that's safety, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
safety and trust. And so that one needs, and it's an
Yep.
absolute that has to be. And what we often do, especially as females, because we're really conditioned to believe that it is somebody outside of us that's going to
Mm-hmm.
save us, right? Let's go Disney princess
Yes.
here. Disney,
Yeah. Yeah.
Disney movie is all about being saved. The romantic movies out there is, the woman is being saved by
Yeah.
somebody. And our reality is that the saving needs to be done by us. And that
Mm-hmm.
begins by us trusting our intuition and that inner
Yep.
guidance that we have. Because we really, especially as women, we really, when we tune in and tap in,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
it's potent.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that you recognize that you needed to keep the promises to yourself. And
Yeah.
I actually just made that full commitment to myself.
Well, and that honestly, it came from like when I started my weight loss journey, I was in my committed relationship with my now husband. We had just recently got engaged, and like obviously he would tell me like you're so beautiful and I love you so much, and like your body and your looks are like the least interesting thing about you. Like you are so smart and like all these things. And like I love that. And he'd tell me I'm beautiful every day, but like I didn't believe it. That was just like, yeah, okay, thanks. You have to say that because like we're together. But then like telling myself I'm beautiful and believing that was like, wow, I don't even have like words.
To look in the
Yeah.
mirror and genuinely love what you see reflecting
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Um, and certainly not what we would be taught on via social media
No.
and seeing the images in the magazines and
No.
all of the movies that are out there. And you have these like really unachievable bodies for the majority out there.
Yep.
In and I love that you're doing this now because I 100% know that someday when you have a family that as a mom that you will be so good about
Thank you.
conveying this messaging
Yeah.
forward. Uh, and I love that you're sharing it now because
Yeah.
there's so many people out there that need to hear this, that
Yeah.
there's such a difference between like being healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like being thin and just because a person is thin doesn't mean they're healthy.
Correct.
There's nothing wrong with being thin because there are some
Right.
people that are just super thin and that's the way
Yep.
they really are. And,
Yes.
so I don't want to make thin evil and I don't want to make being curvy evil. And,
Right.
it's that
Exactly.
healthy, right? Let's be
And it's
healthy.
healthy for whatever body you're in and what healthy looks like to you individually.
Yes.
Because every single body is different. Like you said, like you can be skinny and not healthy, but you can also be skinny and healthy. Like it's just like the overall like arching concept of one type of body being healthy is just incredibly unrealistic for humanity. And we've just like willingly accepted that, which is kind of crazy to me.
It is. And I'm like,
Like,
how boring would it be if we were
yes,
cardboard in Barbies, right? I mean,
right.
what we looked like, and
Yeah,
it it is a bit ridiculous. So, okay, so tell me a little bit more about what you discovered about yourself during this journey, that didn't have anything to do with the number on a scale, because you said it was like that wasn't the key.
right. Right. Yeah. I mean, like, and like I said, I entered this journey like knowing I was not going to be successful if I strictly focused on the number on the scale because that's not a sustainable way to live. So, like, I felt like I'm proud of myself because I really tried to set myself up for success with that. But, like, I discovered I am so much stronger than I gave myself credit for a long time. Like, and I'm not even just talking like physically, like, yep, it was super cool to be able to achieve physical goals that I had, like that I wasn't able to achieve, but like emotionally and mentally, I found out I was stronger than I gave myself credit for. I learned I can do really hard things without like hating myself through them, if that makes sense. I think one of the biggest pieces was that I really learned that my body was never the enemy that like the shame that I had about my body was. Um,
Okay, stop there.
yeah.
The shame about your body was
Hmm.
the enemy.
Yeah.
That's so profound, Maddie. It really
Thank
is.
you.
It is. It really
It's
is.
true though.
Yes, because when we recognize that to me what rings for me is separating the being from the behavior, right?
Hmm.
We feel a certain shame, but we make it about the self.
Hmm.
And really it was about like maybe the behaviors that were behind
Yeah.
what was going on really with you.
Yeah. And like even I think it was also like shame of being repetitively told that like maybe my body doesn't look like it's supposed to and then like believing in that. Like
Good.
via social media and beauty standards of like being fed that. And especially because I grew up in the generation of like social media just started booming when I was a, preteen teen. So like I have grown up with that stuff being fed to me about the message of what a body should look like.
Should, all the shoulds. I'm gonna put should
Yes.
in air quotes. That
Yes.
word sometimes I just want to strike it out of the English language.
Yes.
It just it makes should. Yeah, you should do this, you should do that. And
Yep.
what I use, I choose and I get to,
Yeah,
because those are the choices I want to make.
absolutely.
What pressures do young women face today that older generations they may not fully understand? Because I think this can happen, right? We see, the older ladies are kind of like, like cover everything up.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
some different, but there's some different viewpoints, and not all older women are like that, but
Right.
right, so there can be some gaps there. So help fill in
Yeah.
some gaps. We're
Yeah.
gonna bridge some gaps today.
And my mom and I talk about this a lot, and I have a sister as well, and she's a little younger than me. So we've got a couple generations of women, and we talk a lot about like how our bodies are perceived. And like my mom is really good at reminding me, like, older generations, this is what they were raised on, right? Like telling, and I'm like, that, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. This is what they've been fed. So this is what they believe, and it's the same for us. So I've mentioned previously, I think social media makes women and young women compare themselves endlessly to other people. I mean, we are constantly being perceived. We're not just comparing ourselves to people like around us, like I think maybe older generations did, people in your community, people in your family, people in, in your school, but you're comparing yourselves to women globally all the time. Um, and we hit on this before, there's that pressure to stay right in the middle, like sweet spot of what a woman should be. So like you should be beautiful but not vain, confident but not full of yourself, ambitious but not intimidating, sexy but not sexual, healthy but not obsessive about it, like independent but desirable. And like it's the goalpost is always moving, it's unachievable. um
It's exhausting.
it's so
It's
exhausting.
exhausting. Like today, who am
um
I? I have no
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, and then it's also the body image stuff. It is genuinely unachievable because you're also comparing yourself to something online that is filtered and edited and posed and curated. Like it's not the normal everyday body. So it's diet culture has like rebranded wellness. And I think that makes it harder to recognize the toxicity of it because it's branded as wellness.
It's so true, right? Yeah, branded as wellness. Um, and this thinking about too, like, because there's all different heights, there's all different bone
Mhm.
structures, there's all just bodies are made up. And this is just really one part of us, this human flesh.
Mhm.
It is truly our soul's opportunity to be here on this planet, right? And
Yep.
get to have this living experience. And the motivation should be healthy. And what
Yes.
is healthy?
Yeah.
In really defining for yourself
Yes.
what healthy is and what healthy looks like, because you can't compare yourself to other people when it
Yeah.
comes to what is healthy. And we can take the advice,
Hmm.
the professionals out there who tell
Yep.
us certain guidelines and things. But
Absolutely.
with that, you still have to apply it to you.
Yes.
So not every it's not cookie cutter.
No. And that's the problem is it's branded as such. And like we
Yeah.
live, especially young women and even just women, we live in a world that also like profits from our insecurities and self-doubts. Like profits incredibly. Makeup, hair, like we live in a society that tell ourselves like, oh, love yourself, but we're also constantly being sold on reasons not to love yourself.
Oh, 100%. Like anti-aging product.
Yes.
I will say as as a woman, I'm postmenopausal,
Hmm.
but really approaching that and moving through it based on what I've been told and sold
Yes.
made me believe that
Yeah.
menopause was going to be painful. Menopause is going to be horrible. I was going to be unvaluable. You
Yep.
know, and on the other side of it was just going to be pure hell. That was
Yep.
really what I'm being sold. And what I've learned along the way is that actually menopause is a made up word in our society. If you go to other countries and other cultures,
Mm.
it's not even a word for menopause. They're not sold all these products. They're not sold
Wow.
a terrible thing because the women in other cultures are revered, right?
Because
Because
aging is beautiful.
we have wisdom. We have so
You've lived a life. Like,
raised children,
yes.
walked the journey. But
Yes.
I really went through a period of grief. It wasn't pretty. It was, I started to like really have to dive deep into what
Hmm.
about it. And it was like, I'm losing my beauty. I'm no longer going to be beautiful if I'm
Yeah.
youthful.
Because you
And
have to be young and beautiful.
yes, I had to
Who
dig
says that?
underneath that. I was like a
Yeah.
cat in a litter box. I
Yep.
literally was. I
Yep.
was like,
And it's the same as like, well, you have to be like skinny and beautiful. Like
yeah,
there's the definition of
yeah,
beautiful. It's ridiculous.
I know.
Yeah.
And much like you, it's like my husband would look at me and was just like, "You're so beautiful," and I'm like, "Wow, what?" Like,
And you're like, shut up. You don't know. You're like, okay.
you see what? But show me what you see because I really want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But so speaking about husbands, you
Hmm.
recently got married. You told us you
Yeah.
are Mrs. Anderson.
Yep.
How do you stay true now while you're building this life with somebody else? Because marriage, in my humble experience, you have two completely different souls coming together,
Yeah.
and um, no matter what anybody tells you, there will be conflict
Yep.
because you have
Absolutely.
opinions, right? And so it's
Yes.
not our job to like change them or convince them or whatever, right? We get to have conflict, we get to have conversation, but how do you stay true to yourself?
Yeah, and I want to say first of all, like I credit a lot of how I've approached my relationship and now my marriage to like my parents because I think that I've had like the most incredibly beautiful example of what like a true real marriage is. It's not always perfect. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, but it's like continuing to choose your person every single day. And I will just like, I'll never forget, like, my parents have said to each other, like, there's no one else I'd rather do this with, whatever this is, whether it's good, bad, ugly, like, you're my person. And so that's what I've learned.
I could
And
just
what I
cry.
apply. I know I like choked up a little, like thinking about it. Because they really are my role models for intimate relationships like that. So, I mean, I think marriage has taught me that I think staying true to myself doesn't mean staying like completely separate from my husband. It means bringing your full self into the relationship. You still have your own goals and friendships and passions, and but you're also doing that with someone, like building a life with someone. I think a healthy love shouldn't make you smaller, shouldn't make you give up those things to like be in that relationship. It gives you more room to be who you are and it gives you the room to share that stuff with somebody else. I think a big part was knowing being in this relationship and being loved well by my husband has helped me see myself differently. Like my worth is does not come from being chosen by someone else.
Mm,
But it's also he's like it's a safe love that reflects parts back to me.
Mhm.
And yeah, I love him. I think the key is communication and honesty and not, I will never lose myself in the role of a wife. I am still Maddie. I am also someone's partner. I think the biggest key is both can be true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, and that is so wise. You're so
Thank
wise.
you.
And I need to tell the podcast community when she raves about her parents, it's true.
It's,
It's very true. They're very special humans. They
they
have
are.
a beautiful relationship.
They
And like
do.
Patty said, right, it's not about perfection.
Mm-mm.
When you have somebody that you can move through life with, ex especially the things that they have moved through
Yeah.
together, right? And you can do that with the grace and the
Oh my
humility,
God.
to understand that um it you humble yourself, you seek
Yeah.
forgiveness.
Yeah.
That has been a big piece of our marriage is to seek the forgiveness, to own your crap when you're wrong,
Mm-hmm.
to not be afraid of the conflict because it
Yeah.
actually like it forces you to grow.
It does. And it's not comfortable. It's
Right.
not
Right.
fun. It's
It's
not
not
something
easy.
people like, no, it's not easy. It's not comfortable, but it is something that like you have to take on in order to grow the relationship and have a true, happy, honest marriage.
Yes, yes, and we get to decide, right? People decide what does marriage want to look like, just like what does parents
Absolutely.
like, and um, but to know that you're coming in and you're like communication is one of the for you one of the key pieces, and
Yes.
communication is one of the key pieces to any relationship.
Yep.
When you know that and you understand that, how do we communicate without it being uh, a, a name calling and a yelling and a throwing and a
Yep.
because I did not learn what you learned,
Mm-hmm.
right? I did not have
Yeah.
that example set for me. I had much different examples set.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And but I did have the example set for me that that you stay the course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do think it's also important to call out that there are situations out there that are unhealthy
Yeah.
that people need to get out of, right?
Yep.
So we're not talking about sticking in it if you're being mentally,
No.
physically abused.
And that's kind of what I like when I said you never have to make yourself smaller to be in a relationship. Like you should, to me, the healthiest love does not make you smaller. It gives you more room to become yourself.
Yeah, expansive, and that's so beautiful. I love that. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
clarifying that.
Yeah.
What are you still learning about yourself at 25 that you wish more young women talked about openly?
There's so many.
Fire away.
I'm learning that you can be openly healing and you can still struggle. You can be confident and still have insecure days. You can love your life and feel overwhelmed by it. You can be grateful and still want more. I wish more young women talked about this like in betweenness. Your 20s can feel like you're supposed to have everything figured out, career, marriage, friendships, body identity, your future, all of it. But I think I learned that a lot of us are like quietly, silently suffering and wondering if we're doing it right. Like, are we doing life right? Are we becoming a grown up right? I don't know. Um, I'm learning that growth doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes growth is setting a boundary. Sometimes it looks like allowing yourself to rest. It's changing your mind. It's like crying over something and then, okay, I'm gonna try again. I wish more women knew that that all still counts as like moving forward.
Absolutely. We live in a yes and
Yeah.
universe. We really
Oh
do.
God.
I don't believe whatever you call God. I choose the word God,
Mm-hmm.
but I do. There's no way you're ever going to sell me on believing that God would want us to wallow and to feel shame and guilt and punish ourselves like
Yeah.
over and over again. Like, you aren't going to get me to believe that. I
Yeah.
believe yes, and so as we continue to evolve, because that's our purpose here on earth,
It
right?
is.
We're here to grow and expand and experience life. And part of that is to be human, and
Mm-hmm.
humans are messy.
Yes.
We are in life. It can be messy, and
Life is so messy.
it is messy. And that's the beauty though, is can I see the mess? I can remember working with a client and telling her to bless the mess, right? To bless,
Yep.
just bless the mess because some days the house is going to be really clean, and other days it's going to look like a tornado went through it, especially when you're raising children. And some days you're gonna be a class act, and the next day you're gonna be a hot mess, and
Oh.
your hair up in a ponytail. We get to have it all and
Mm-hmm.
experience it all. And I would just add one thing I wish I knew at your age was more about my female body.
Yeah.
Um, I can remember my daughter coming home from college and saying, "Mom, why didn't you teach me this about my body?" And I was like, "Honey, because I am just learning now."
Yeah.
And so there just are things that we don't know, and yeah, and we just weren't taught,
Yeah.
and I think it's so important.
It is. And it's I think it also a piece of that comes back to like the culture of our society, like the female body and female sexuality isn't talked about. It's not, it's kind of a shameful thing.
It is, and it doesn't make any sense to me because that would
Nope.
be the other one of it's like your husband, he wants you to be very open to all of
Hmm.
this. But we have been conditioned as women to believe it's something dirty and sinful and something that should be like this hidden compartment of
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And
Yep.
that is not what he's looking for. And so you're kind of like, and that I can,
Yeah.
say in this house was an evolution, right?
Hmm.
To peel back and have to, um, for me to literally was grief, right? Grieve and deal with what I was conditioned to believe was a sinful, shameful part of me.
Yeah.
And then to move into like this season, this is like amazing,
I
and I
love that.
you
I
know,
love that for you.
thank
Yes.
you. That's like,
Yes.
and he does too. He's like, this
Yes.
is crazy. And
This is
I'm
great.
like, right, but I would rather
Yes.
it be that you know it at 25 than almost 58. You know,
Yeah,
that's a lot of life in between there,
that is.
So, what secret are you no longer willing to keep?
There's a lot of them, especially post transformation of like getting it all out there. I'm no longer willing to keep the secret that I spent years being unkind to myself. I don't want to pretend that transformation is just like strictly before and after photos. There's grief in it, there's discomfort. There was an incredible amount of identity work in my process. There were days that I didn't recognize myself. I think one of the biggest ones was there were days that I realized I'm like finally coming home to myself in my body. So I think so many women silently carry shame about their bodies, or shame about confidence, or like needs, desires, struggles, and insecurities. And we act like we're the only ones. And body image struggles can be incredibly lonely, but it's not unique.
Mm,
Um, so many of us carry them, and I want to talk about it honestly so that other women feel less alone. So I think I'm no longer willing to just keep that all to myself.
absolutely. I love it. What you're doing is you're creating a sisterhood, very much helping to heal that sisterhood wound that's out there. We were pitted as, like competition, right? Other
Yep.
women are competition because they're going to try to steal your man. And I just remember coming to that epiphanal moment of, excuse me. Like the man should have some self-control too, right?
Yeah,
So it's like,
absolutely.
it takes two to tango,
Hmm.
so it's like, this isn't all on her.
No.
It's a him thing too. And there's so much more than that. But just to heal that sisterhood wound, then through the lineages of women that were, forced to believe that other women were competition. Uh,
Yep.
because let's be real. Nobody wanted to be rejected from the tribe because if you were, you would starve to death. That
Hmm.
was back then, right? Most certainly not now, but we can starve in a different way as women. We can be starving for that community and those deep friendships that we
Missing the
desire.
sisterhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the female like companionship. And I think also a big part of it is like in my experience, it's the like comparing yourself to other women. And I'm gonna be honest, there's jealousy and resentment built in that. Obviously, like especially as a young woman and you're looking at someone and you're like, I just want to be her. Why can't I be her? Why can't I look like her? It sucks that I can't be her. I don't like that for her. And it makes you in this like version of yourself that's just horrible. And yeah,
Right.
I think it takes away from the joy of female friendships and sisterhood.
Yes, because jealousy, right?
Mhm.
Jealousy is one of those very low vibration emotions to have.
Yeah.
And in that, right, I want to look at another woman and celebrate her and be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
you're
you are
totally rocking
beautiful.
it.
Yes, like
You are
I
rocking
love
it.
that outfit. Your hair looks great. Like I
Yeah.
love that.
Yes, that you're a spectacular woman. So as we come to the end,
Yeah.
what nugget of wisdom would you like to leave our audience with today? What's your golden nugget?
Ugh. If I had to pick like one, I would say don't wait until your life is, and I put this in air quotes, perfect to start living.
Oh, that's you're just so wise.
Take the picture, wear the outfit, do the thing, say what you need, let people love you, be seen. Don't wait.
Ah, so good. So good.
Thank
Well,
you.
I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your story.
Yeah.
Going back on, and I mean, what a difference. Like it's probably only been 2 years since you've been on
I
here, right?
think so. Yeah.
So it's like, my goodness, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
But your journey, right? It just reminds us that when true transformation, right? It's not about just changing what you look like.
No.
It's working on the thought processes, right? You
Yeah.
have to change behind the scenes.
Yep.
This can change, the outward
Yep.
appearance of yourself can change. And, thank you so much for being very willing and open to
Yeah.
share the secrets that you were.
You made a big, great safe space for it. So thank you for having me for this conversation and giving me a space to share it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here on the Secret Keepers. And again, if somebody wanted to reach out and connect with you, how can they do that, Maddie?
Yeah, I am on Instagram. My handle is mads.grace. I am on TikTok as well, mads.grace35. Send me a message, chat about
Okay.
body positivity, anything.
You got to check out her TikToks because she is funny. She is very, very funny. So you got to check out her TikToks. And I think it's just really important to recognize that on the Secret Keepers, right? Our mission is it's all about healing and
Yeah,
authenticity and self-acceptance, right? So we're doing this by sharing our stories because
yes,
what lives in the dark can fester, but what we bring to light can heal. So thank you so
absolutely.
here today.
Yeah.
And as always, audience, if there's anything that I can help you, feel free to go to my website, www.corinzulager.com, and we can connect as well. So thanks again, Maddie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for joining the Secret Keepers podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please give us a like and follow so we can invite you back. And if you just want more, visit CorinneZulager.com. Remember, you're not alone.